The Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, having eased back on imposing any new taxes on South Africans. Delivering his budget speech yesterday, he noted that 13 billion rand will be set aside in tax relief in a bid to ease the strain on citizens already battling the high cost of living and being confronted with an energy crisis. André Daniels is the legal manager for tax controversy and dispute resolution at Tax Consulting South Africa. On the line with us, André. Very good morning and thank you.
Trained under the current circumstances, so it's almost a case of the government giving relief where they can. I'm sure what's welcome to many South Africans is the fact that the general fuel levy and the road accident fund levy was not increased, as well as to ease the impact of the electricity crisis on food prices. There is the refund for the road accident fund levy for diesel used in the manufacturing process has been extended now to manufacturers of foodstuffs, which will take effect from 1 April 2023 for 2 years. Further, the personal income tax brackets have been fully adjusted for the inflation, which has increased the tax-free threshold. The medical tax credits have also been increased by the inflationary rate, as well as the brackets for transfer duty payable on purchases of property has been increased by 10%, now allowing properties below the 1.1 million rand threshold to avoid any transfer duty payments. Further, the government proposed an increase in excise duties. Again, no surprise here. Syntax goes up every year. And something promising and perhaps a turn in the tax morality status is that SARS have collected more than 1.2 billion rand in revenue and has referred 92 cases for criminal proceedings with the NPA.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even some optimism around tax collection and under SARS, and SARS is clearly working, in collecting revenue, but a constrained economic outlook. I know there was a couple of months ago some consideration for a percentage growth, 1%, even slight to 1.5% potential growth for South Africa. That has now been revised downward because of the impact of load shedding and the threats on that front. The government did announce a massive, tax relief program for those that do self-generate electricity through solar panels, etc. And that, if you're a big business, could be very lucrative in tax relief on that particular front. With pronouncements like this, is it short-term for at least the consumer, or is it, long-term damage towards, Eskom and further even, money that the state could be making?
Look, I think at the outset, we certainly have an electricity grid that's struggling. Hence, the tax rebate of 25% of the cost of the panels being provided to taxpayers up to a maximum of 15,000 rand. Now, while that may be positive, I'm sure we all know that, taxpayers will be paying much more than the allowed rebate to be deducted from the taxable income. However, this is an indication that the government wants to and is incentivizing taxpayers for moving off the grid, at least on a pro rata basis, if not totally off the grid. And yes, this does definitely have an effect on the economy at large, because how are, small businesses and even bigger businesses, as you indicated, supposed to manufacture and so forth if they do not have access to electricity? But again, with the collection and with SARS's strategy of making compliance cost-effective and making non-compliance very expensive and difficult, we will, in all probability, see a higher collection of taxes year on year.
Thank you very much. And I'm wondering what a function that will be of, but we'll have to pick up on that at another time. André Daniels from Tax Consulting South Africa.